Hey everybody, and welcome to another tutorial brought to you by the Minecrafters. I am Captain Jack, and today we are going to be covering the coke oven and the blast furnace. Alright, the coke oven, let's find out what it's for, what you do with it, what you get from it, and how to build it. You are going to need 5 sand and 4 brick to give you 1 coke oven brick, and that will tell you that it's a multi-block 3x3x3 and it's hollow. So you see that I have this little cross section layout here. I have 9 in the bottom, 8 in the middle with a hollow spot there, and a full 9 on top. And once you put all of these together, it will form an oven. Now, if the oven is not complete, there won't be a little window there. Once you put that last block, the window will appear, and your coke oven will be complete. It will take 130 sand and 104 bricks to completely make 1 coke oven, and that's 26 coke oven bricks. Now inside of here you have a spot for a variety of different things, and we could fire through the recipes here really quick, but the most important thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to burn charcoal, and charcoal goes right in this spot here. Once you start burning your charcoal, again, it's going to take a while to burn through this stack, but it's going to turn into this thing called coal coke. And coal coke is useful for various things. It burns 4 times hotter than coal. So you see coal burns at 4 kEU. This burns at 16 kEU. So it's going to last a lot longer, but that's really not what we're going to use it for to start with. With every smelt of coal, you're going to get a byproduct, and the byproduct is called creosote, and you're going to get 500 millibuckets of creosote oil for each coal smelted. Now, there's a bunch of other things that you can put inside of here. You can put straight wood. You can put all these weird other kinds of coal coke, if you will, inside that don't burn nearly as hot, but you can take sugar charcoal, which is just made by running sugar through a furnace, and you'll get sugar charcoal, which burns at 1 kE2 or 1 k EU. You can burn cactus and get cactus charcoal. You can burn straight wood, and I think you can burn a couple other things. But coal is the best thing to put through here. And once it processes totally, you're going to get a coal coke, and that's going to move over to this slot in the GUI here. And you're going to see that I did not lie, and you have 500 millibuckets of creosote oil. Over here, this is used to empty the creosote oil out of the coke oven. You can put cells on top, and it will load up the creosote oil into a cell, and you can pull the cell right out there. But a better way to do it is to use some form of liquid transportation, such as a Railcraft waterproof pipe, or as I always prefer, the liquiduct. And you can kind of slap the liquiduct basically anywhere on this machine, as far as I know. Have the settings corrected there with your wrench, and if you flip that, it turned off my sign, but it drained the creosote oil out of the coke oven, okay? And you're going to want to do that because if your coke oven gets full all the way to the top with 64,000 millibuckets of creosote oil, it's going to stop smelting. So you want to make sure you're continually draining this out. And in the next episode, I'll show you where to put all that creosote oil because you're going to end up having a lot of it. That's what I just said. If broken, the oven will retain its liquid. So that's pretty cool. So if I look inside here, I've got a bunch of creosote oil, and oops, I accidentally break it. I put it back. There it is. Creosote oil is still there. I lost my smelt a little bit, but that's okay. So don't worry about it if you break this block. I believe if you break the bottom middle block that it might not give you your liquid back. So be careful anyway. Try not to break it. But if in the event that you break a couple side pieces, you can still get your liquid back. The uses for creosote oil are many. You can use it in a semi-fluid generator, a regular generator, a biogas engine, a furnace, a fermenter, and you can also use it as a seed oil substitute. And if you haven't watched my bee breeding tutorial or bee breeding guide, it's very comprehensive. And this might be a really good alternative to seed oil because seed oil is very hard to come by, especially in the early stages of the game. You can also take a can. You can right click on the coke oven and it's going to go ahead and give me the creosote cans. It's going to empty it that way. Or like I said before, you can go ahead and put some cans inside of here and it's going to drain the fluid out and it's going to put them in the output slot there. Now, interestingly enough, I have this coke oven automated, so that's actually getting pulled directly out of there. And as far as I know, that I could have this inserting cans as well. Let me just try that on camera and see if it works. It might need to go on the top That's something you can try out on your own. I wouldn't recommend it in any case because these liquid ducts are so much easier. But I have this automated here with applied energistics. It's basically the only way to automate anything. But if you so choose, you can use Buildcraft pipes, Buildcraft engines, and so on and so forth. If you really don't have the materials to craft your applied energistics stuff, it works just as well, or almost as well, when outputting items. You should be okay. What I have here is I have an ME Precision import bus that's sucking all of the completed coal coke out of the oven, and I have a Precision export bus exporting coal into this slot here. And if you can see, if I pull this out, it's going to stop the process, which is bad, and it's going to put another stack in there for me, and that's being supplied by my ME system. Now, I did not too much experimentation, but it really looks like it doesn't matter where you put the export bus. You can export in the top, you can export in the sides. I haven't actually tried the bottom. Not sure if it'll throw coal in this spot here, but you really have a lot of options open. It doesn't need to be in the middle of any of the sides. The import bus doesn't necessarily have to be on the side, even though I'm just OCD and I like it kind of the way the GUI lines up, kind of old school. But there you have it. Very easy to automate this machine. And again, you can do it with Buildcraft pipes and machines. So that's the coke oven. And the thing we really want from this is the coke coal here, because that's going to be used in creating the next block, which is the blast furnace. Now the blast furnace, these two have decorative blocks related to them, infernal brick and sandy brick, not to be confused with their counterparts, coke coal, brick and blast furnace brick. Okay. Also, just a side note, you probably don't want to leave any of these machines lying around your base unfinished, because the game kind of bugs out a little bit, doesn't like it. Anyways, so the blast furnace. How do we make the blast furnace? A little bit harder. It's going to require possibly a trip to the nether. One way to get this magma cream, it will require a trip to the nether, excuse me, because there's nether brick right there and soul stand. But this magma cream tends to be the harder of the materials to get, but you can combine a slime ball and a blaze powder together to make these magma creams. And the blaze can be found in little plants in the desert if you're playing on FTB. And slime balls can actually be found up in those floating islands in the sky, and you can harvest a bunch of that slimy dirt and get tons and tons of slime balls. So hopefully that should make it a little bit easier for you to get that magma cream to make your blast furnace. Now the blast furnace is a little bit different, just like it says when I mouse over it. It's a 3x4x3, so it's a little bit taller, but it's still hollow. And this is going to have two hollow spaces in the middle of the block. So you have the bottom here, we have 9 blocks, 8 blocks hollow, 8 blocks hollow, 9 blocks solid. And if you put them all together, it's going to give you this nice little window on the bottom. And if you think I'm lying, there you go. Bam. There we got the window. When it's not complete, can't right click. When it is complete, you can right click and you have your blast furnace. Now this is a little bit simpler of a GUI. Well, before I go, let's take a look at these real quick. 34 blast furnace bricks are needed to make this, and one recipe equals 4 bricks. So you're going to have a few left over, but don't worry, you can use them for your next one. It's going to take 36 nether brick, 36 soul sand, and 9 magma cream to complete one of these blast furnaces. Okay. The GUI inside, the bottom here is for coal, coal coke actually. You used to be able to put, before I go ahead and say that, can you put charcoal? Yes, you can. You can put charcoal down here, but it's going to consume 4 for basically every 1 coal coke. So it's going to burn through tons of charcoal. You're better off just using the coal coke that you got from your coke oven, but it's not necessary. You're just going to go through a lot more charcoal. 4 times the rate, as we already heard about. So if we put this in the bottom here, what goes in the top? Well, iron goes in the top. And what it's going to do is it's going to consume 1 coal coke, and a little bit of the burn is going to be left over. So it's going to use 1 coal coke for every iron it processes, plus you're going to have a little bit left on the coal coke to process the next iron. And this is going to give us steel, okay? And steel is a really awesome, and you can melt this stuff down. That's actually really useful. You can melt down, that says iron into steel. That doesn't make much sense to me. I hope that's a bug. Don't want to try that. If it works, don't use it because it's not right, okay? This has various uses, okay? Aluminum, it can act as kind of just a regular furnace, as it were, but it's mainly used for getting steel. And once this is complete, we're going to have 1 steel ingot, and we're going to have consumed one of each of these two here. It's going to take 64 seconds to make one steel by combining one iron ingot and one coal. Caution! Lava fills up inside the furnace, so be careful if you break it. There we go, we have a steel. Okay, now you might say, well, Captain, I've broken these before and lava hasn't spilled all over my base. Well, that's true, in a way. But as you just saw there, if any of this was made out of wood, your house would be burning down right now. So caution, I'm warning you now, there is lava in the middle of this once it gets complete. Now if I break it right now, there's not going to be very much, and that's because the oven wasn't in use. But if I go ahead and put that in there, miraculously it requires more lava, and that bumped out pretty quickly, so just be careful. Automating the blast furnace is fairly simple, just as simple as doing this. You can kind of slap these import and export buses anywhere on the blast furnace. As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but you have so many bricks to choose from, it really is not that big of a deal. So what I have here is I have one export bus, and you'll notice that we have two things to put inside the blast furnace, but you only need one export bus, and it just goes to show that it doesn't really care what side that you put it into. So I have coke, coal, and iron being ejected in stacks by a precision export bus into the blast furnace, and as you see here, it's going to fill them right back up. No problem. Very good. Very easy. Okay, so that's these two blocks. Let's read this thing on the wall really quick. Steel will be heavily used as you progress through Railcraft as well as in GregTech if you have installed. We recommend that you build at least one of each of these ovens as soon as you have the resources to do so. Coal, creosote oil, and steel have many other uses outside of Railcraft. And that lovely sign there tells us what these things are: advanced panel extenders and advanced information panels. We have a tutorial out on them. Make sure you check it out. Next episode, we're going to be talking about tanks and the rolling machine, I believe. Yes, there it is. Okay, we don't want to learn about it yet. Not sure how far the series will go, but in any case, I am Captain Jack. Thank you for watching, and we hope you keep watching. And as always, guys, stay poised.